By 2020, there may be as many as 10 million self-driving cars travelling the world's roads. It may be the case that one day we will not even be in ownership of a car, but instead, self-driving cars would circulate around the city, all computer-controlled. Hello, my name is Tom Stunken, and today I'm going to talk to you about the challenges with self-driving cars. But first, how does a self-driving car work? Do they use satellite imagery, sensors, or even seismic waves? Google has been developing cars for some years now. Some are already in use in America. Whilst they do use sensors, Google relies heavily on their famous maps. Many car companies have automated car projects as well, including BMW, and they rely more on sensors which include laser rangefinders, radars to keep a digital eye on cars ahead and behind, ultrasonic sensors on wheels, which give feedback about the road, as well as cameras facing multiple directions. A quote by Michael Eberhard, the leader of BMW's project. One thing we have noticed about maps is that the more detailed they are, the more the world they describe is constantly changing. The sensors themselves are getting better. The better the sensors get, the less you need the map. There are, however, hurdles with the technology. Let's look at coding, as in the computer software that analyzes sensor and mapping input. Most of today's computers are controlled by if-then algorithms, i.e., if a pedestrian crosses the road, then slow down and stop. But to program cars with this, it would take extremely detailed and precise algorithms. The time this will consume, and the imagination needed to account for every possible situation would be astounding. Learning algorithms can be applied. These learn by trial and error. For example, a scientist stimulates the shape of an unknown object, say a ball. The computer runs it through a large collection of pictures and sequences to determine the most likely object. Another set of algorithms tells the car what to do. But trial and error can be changed easily by manipulating the data, bringing up the problem of hackers. The controls and coding of these cars would be open to change. If someone could tamper with these, it could result in crashes. The self-driving cars would need to be able to hide the core programming from potential hackers. Another problem which people have seemed to overlook is the vast difference between our current automated car systems, like driver-assisted parking and cruise control, and complete automatic driving. In driver-assisted parking and cruise control, the computer is doing something very simple, with a small amount of variables for a small amount of time. But automated driving, on the other hand, may be active for hours at a time, is very complicated, and has many variables. These have to be fully programmed, with no human overseeing or additional input. The simple fact is that a fully driverless car is not really possible with today's technology. Yet. After all, no matter what, all computers can be compromised, and there will always be hackers and cyber-terrorist organizations ready to exploit these flaws. Let's look at hardware, referring to the complex sensor technology, braking and radar. Today's sensors are capable of detecting objects up to 150 to 200 meters away. At 100 kilometers an hour, the average family car takes 56 meters to stop on a dry road, excluding reaction time. While this is only just over a third to a fourth of the sensor limit, what happens if a car comes out of a side street or brakes suddenly in front of it? Each solution creates more problems. By increasing braking power, it puts more pressure on airbag and seatbelt systems, as well as putting older model cars at risk. More advanced sensors that detect a certain type of material can be used, but could be limited by computer processing power. Radio communication between cars could help, but brings its own issues. What about the mix of driverless cars and manual cars? How would a driverless car know to merge into heavy traffic in a situation that it doesn't have right of way? The car, and all cars behind it, would be rendered helpless. In conclusion, while self-driving cars will happen, today's technology limits their arrival. But the future for self-driving cars looks very exciting.